For your entire life, you were told there was a path. Get a degree, get hired, work hard, move up, eventually manage people. That was the deal. But what if the ladder you were taught to climb is being quietly dismantled, rung by rung, while millions of people are still trying to reach the next one? The corporate ladder was not an accident. It was designed over a century ago to solve a very specific problem. In the early 1900s, factories grew too large for any one person to oversee. So they created layers. Foremen watched workers, managers watched foremen, directors watched managers. It was industrial-era engineering applied to people. And it worked. For decades, this structure was the most efficient way to coordinate large groups of humans doing complex things. Schools adopted the same logic. Universities formalized it with MBA programs. The entire trajectory of a modern career, from intern to vice president, was modeled on one core assumption. Organizations need human beings at every level, translating strategy into action, relaying information up and down the chain. That assumption held for almost 100 years. It no longer does. Now here's where this gets concrete. Gartner, one of the most respected research firms in the world, predicted that by 2026, 20% of organizations will use AI to eliminate more than half of their current middle management positions. Let that land. That is not a forecast for 2035. That is this year. And the data already confirms it. Revelio Labs, a workforce analytics company, found a 40% drop in middle management job postings since 2022, 40% in 3 years. Shopify CEO sent a company-wide memo telling every team that before they request a new hire, they must first prove why AI cannot do the job instead. Klarna, the payments company, cut its workforce from 5,500 employees to under 3,000, largely through AI replacing coordination and customer service roles that managers once oversaw. And a Harvard Business School study found that 6 out of 10 managers spend more than half of their working time on tasks that AI can now automate. Scheduling meetings, compiling status reports, tracking performance metrics, routing approvals, the very tasks that justified having a manager in the first place. This is not an abstract risk on a timeline somewhere. Real companies right now are operating with structures that would have been unrecognizable 5 years ago. A healthcare AI startup recently replaced a team of 10 software engineers with a 3-person unit overseeing AI agents. 3 people doing the work of 10. Not worse, faster. The rungs are not being removed someday. They are being removed right now. But here is what most people are missing entirely, and it might be the most important part of this whole shift. This is not just about job losses. It is about the collapse of a development system. Middle managers did not just coordinate work, they developed people. A researcher at Northeastern University, Dr. Ravi Kalluri, identified this problem and gave it a name. He calls it the judgment gap crisis. When a junior employee makes a mistake, a manager catches it, explains why it happened, and helps them grow. That feedback loop, repeated thousands of times over years, is what turns a competent worker into a future executive. Remove the middle, and you remove the training ground. AI can route tasks, flag bottlenecks, and generate performance reports. But it cannot sit across from someone and teach them how to make a judgment call under pressure. It cannot develop wisdom. And so the paradox emerges. The very efficiency that makes organizations cut middle management today is also cutting the pipeline that produces their next generation of leaders tomorrow. So here is the belief you need to let go of. You were programmed to believe that career growth means managing people, that your value increases when you gain authority over others, that moving up means moving into a position where your primary job is telling other people what to do. That model made sense when coordination required human brains at every layer, but coordination is now the one thing AI does cheaply, quickly, and at massive scale. The ladder is not just losing rungs. The entire concept of a ladder, a vertical hierarchy you ascend through seniority in politics, is being replaced by something flatter, faster, and fundamentally different. Organizations like Amazon, Moderna, and McKinsey are already eliminating entire layers of management, merging departments, and deploying AI agents to handle the routine coordination work that managers once performed. The flat networked team is not a Silicon Valley experiment anymore. It is becoming the default. And here is a detail that makes this even more striking. LinkedIn data shows a 30% drop in entry-level job listings from early 2024 to early 2025. That follows a 23% decline the year before. It is not just the middle of the ladder that is disappearing. The bottom is vanishing too. The ladder is being dismantled from both ends. So what replaces it? Here is the shift that very few people have internalized yet, and it changes everything about how you should think about your career. The new career model is not vertical, it is horizontal. Your value is no longer measured by how many people report to you. It is measured by how much leverage you create. Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, the most valuable company on earth, recently said that every engineer will soon have 100 AI agents working alongside them. Think about what that means. Not 100 employees, 100 AI agents, one person orchestrating an army of digital workers that never sleep, never call in sick, and never need managing. And this is not speculation. Here is Jensen Huang himself, explaining the reality we are already entering. That is the new model. Not climbing a ladder, building a lever. The shift is happening across every industry. In law firms, AI agents now draft contracts and flag risks that junior associates once spent hundreds of billable hours on. In finance, AI handles the analysis that entire teams of analysts used to produce. The coordination layer, the middle, is being compressed everywhere. And the data backs this up. Workers with advanced AI skills already earn 56% more than peers in the same roles without those skills. Not in some projected future, right now, today. So what do you actually reprogram, starting now? First, stop optimizing for the next promotion. The position you are working toward might not exist by the time you reach it. Instead, optimize for leverage. Ask yourself this: how many outcomes can I produce without adding more human hands? Second, learn to manage AI systems, not people. Agentic workflows, autonomous AI tools, orchestration platforms. These are not future concepts. They are shipping products that companies are using today. The person who learns to direct 100 AI agents will be worth more than the person who manages 100 employees. Third, build ownership, not tenure. The safest position in a flattening organization is not the middle, it is the edge. The person who owns a result end-to-end amplified by AI is more valuable than an entire department of coordinators. This is not just career advice. This is a recognition that the organizational model we inherited from the 20th century, the pyramid with a few people at the top and many at the bottom, is dissolving into something new. What replaces it is not chaos, it is networks, small leveraged teams of humans, each amplified by dozens or hundreds of AI agents, producing at a scale that entire departments used to require. The age of climbing is ending. The age of building has already begun. The ladder was never really yours. It was designed by someone else, for a world that no longer exists. The people who will define the next decade are not the ones who climbed the highest. They are the ones who stopped climbing, looked around, and realized they could build something of their own. The old structure is dissolving. The new one is wide open. Reprogram yourself, or spend your life climbing toward a position that was quietly removed while you were not looking.